What's up, and good afternoon to everybody. Thanks for coming back for another one of my uploads. So today's video is going to be a little different than normal. What I've got here is a 1995 Ford Contour, and that's not what today's video is going to be about, but I wanted to get into this real quick. So you gotta be careful. Put your foot right into the fuse box if you're not careful. Alright, so I recently acquired this vehicle. The previous owner thought it needed a transmission. I thought it needed a transmission. The more I look into it, I'm really thinking it's the TSS sensor. And part of why I'm thinking that is I'll go ahead and put it in reverse because that's the gear it likes. There is no speedometer. So back out of here. There's no speedometer. It shifts hard, and you're about to see what it does when I go into drive if it does it. It's almost like it's in neutral. It's neutral, the transit's slipping. There it goes. Neutral, transit's slipping, shifts hard, shift points aren't where they're supposed to be, and then finally it'll kick in and it'll start driving. I know not too many people are interested in a 1995 Ford Contour, and if I come to a complete stop here, it's going to start all over with the not wanting to go into gear thing. Oh, no, it didn't that time. But it still shifted way too early and way too hard. Not too many people are interested in these cars. They're good cars. They were really good cars for what they were. Just economy cars. But it's a CD4E transmission, which came in a whole bunch of different cars. So if I can show you how to troubleshoot and diagnose this transmission, and then how to fix it. Got a neighborhood scrapper. It's weird. It's Saturday. There's no trash. If I can show you how to diagnose and fix it, I mean, this is going to help a lot of people that have the CD4E. I believe they came in the Ford Escape, Ford Escort, a couple Mazdas, the Mercury Cougar had them, and then a whole bunch of European cars used the CD4E. Another thing I figured out is put it in park, do a reverse neutral drive. It doesn't want to go anywhere, but put it back in neutral, put it in reverse, wait for reverse to kick in, go back from neutral to drive, let my foot off the brake, all of a sudden drive will kick in, and I can drive. So that's making me kind of think that it's not the transmission that's an issue, and it's probably just sensors, specifically the TSS sensor. There's another sensor that it might be, but I'm really on the fence about that. So I think we're gonna go ahead and replace the TSS sensor. We're not gonna do that in this video. I'm gonna make a video and dedicate that to it. I just wanted to introduce this car to you guys. If that doesn't fix the issue, it's a 95 Ford Contour, so it'll probably just go to scrap. However, if it'll focus, it's only got 88,000 miles on it. So, I mean, it's a really low mile car. So that's why I'm really thinking that it's probably not the transmission that's an issue. At this point, the transmission might have an issue just because of how long the previous owner drove like this. But, so, now that we've talked about that a little bit, we're going to go ahead and jump into the Jeep today. And as you guys know, this isn't a complete Jeep channel. Although I've only uploaded Jeeps to the channel so far, I've got some small block parts in the basement. I'm getting ready to build a small block for my 93 C1500. I'm thinking about doing a really aggressive stance on it. probably a 4.6 drop, maybe a 5.7 drop. Stuff some big tires into it. I'm on the fence of either building a 700, because I've got a 700 in the shed that's already in pieces, that's just ready to be put back together. And I've got a buddy with a Turbo 350. I actually sold him recently, that if I wanted it, I think I could buy it back if I made it worth his time. So if we do Turbo 350, we're either going to have if we go the Turbo 350 route, we're either making a drive shaft or finding a drive shaft that'll work for it. Being that how much we're lowering it, we might be able... no, that won't be enough to make the drive shaft work. But I'm sure there's a drive shaft we can find in the junkyard that'll work. So yeah, this isn't a complete Jeep channel. So it just so happens that right now the Jeep is the only thing I've got the ability to make content on. It's just the only thing I've been working on. So I'm going to go swap out the batteries in the camera, and then we're going to dive into the Jeep. And before I get too far into this video, I want to say a huge thanks to a buddy of mine, Brian. I'm going to go ahead and tag his YouTube channel below. Why don't I have a light bulb? So this isn't everything I've got. I've got a bunch of parts out in my shed too, but this is for the 93 C15 I'm building. Some headers, and then a crank. Like I said, a good friend of mine, Brian, gave them to me. He's a great guy, and I just wanted to mention to him and say that he's got a small YouTube channel. He doesn't really upload that often, but I think he's gonna start to. Trying to think of what all he's got. I just can't remember the years off the top of my head. Well, he's got a really cool Firebird that he did a restoration on. He's got a Pontiac Le Mans that he's got a killer motor in. It's a blown small block. He's got a whole bunch of work to it. I don't know what's all in it. He's got a really cool Tacoma, two Tacomas actually. He's got a green Tacoma that he lifted. He's taken it to Moab. He's done a whole bunch of cool stuff with that truck. And he actually is building another Tacoma, which is really cool because he got the cab, the bed, everything separately. He cut the frame of, I believe, a 4Runner in half, and then welded that to the back of a two-wheel drive Tacoma, and then I believe there was talk of him putting a standard transmission in it, but I think he did put an automatic in it. But yeah, he's a really smart guy, and I think once he starts uploading videos, a lot of people can benefit from him. He's an avid motorcyclist. He's got a Goldwing. He's got probably 5 or 6 bikes, but he mainly rides his Goldwing. He's got a KTM dual sport. He'll correct me if I was wrong on anything. He'll probably comment down below or tell me in person like, hey, you're an idiot. But no, I just wanted to shout him out real quick because it was really cool of him. He just straight up gave me this stuff. I didn't ask for it. I wanted to pay him for it, and I'm pretty sure they've been bolted to a motor, but they've never even been ran. I think he had issues with clearance. And I'm actually thinking, because the issue was it hit his clamshell, I believe. So I'm thinking about doing some kind of aftermarket motor mounts. I don't really want to do the clamshells just because they take up that little bit of space. Maybe forward mounts or something. So I'll figure it out in a later video. It'll be something when I go to drop the motor in to test fit it. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, so we can do this, we can do that. But yeah, I don't want to drag this on too long, so let's get out here and get to working on the Jeep. mention yet, what we're going to be doing to the Jeep today is the headliner needs replaced. So I'm going to show you how to rip it out. It's probably going to be a two-part video. For one, it's really cold, and I just don't know that I feel like going in my house and stinking it up with the fumes and tacking everything inside. So we're probably going to rip everything out this weekend, get it prepped, get it ready to go. And then in next week's video, I'm going to show you how to fabric out, cut it. Alright, and this is going to be a pretty basic job. So, you really don't need a whole lot of tools. What you're going to need is a T20 Torx bit. And I believe it is a, the PH1 is the size you'll need for the flat, or the Phillips heads. It might be a PH2, but those really don't matter. And then you need a pair of dikes. So at least I'll need a pair of dikes because somebody. So at least I'll need a pair of dikes because somebody zip tied that up. Something that'll help is they've got pry tools for this. I'm just gonna put a screwdriver behind it and pry it out. One of those pry tools might help. So we're gonna start here in the back. And go ahead and start taking all these Phillips head out. So after you remove the screw here and the one in the same spot over there, go ahead and take a small flathead screwdriver. I'm not sure which of these need to come out, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop them all out. Alright, that one probably doesn't need to come out. Neither does that one. Well, maybe none of them need to come out. Huh. Okay. Never mind. And what is holding that up there? Does it just clip? Well, I hope that didn't break. Okay, looks like it just clips up. However, I'm not sure how up here is mounted. I'm going to try not to break anything. Let's see if this lens pops off. I think it will. It's got a little spot to pry. Oh. There's a stink bug. Alright, so that's what's holding it in. I want to go ahead and get you guys a view of that. Never mind the stink bug. So there's a Phillips head screwdriver bit there, and a stink bug right there. So let's go ahead and get those taken out. Alright, so once you have that out, here's a little clip, and it just broke. Pull down on it, and it should come right off. I'm going to go ahead and dispose of the stink bug some more. I don't know if stink bugs are everywhere, or if that's just an Ohio thing, but I don't like them. So we don't break this. Let's go ahead and set it off to the side. All the pieces that go with it. That's always cool. That's not the first one I found on here, Just I don't know if it was a sticker. I'm assuming probably a sticker at one point. It's just cool seeing that probably nobody's ever been up there, if it's still there. And let's get this last clip that's stuck. We need to remove these pillars. It looks like there's nothing screw-wise holding them in, so they're probably just pop out. Yep, they pop out. Look at that. Another one. So that's just interesting to me that probably nobody's been in there in this is a 93, so almost, well, 2003 was 2013. So we're 3 years short of 30-year-old vehicle. That's pretty neat to me. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side and come back with you. Alright, so now we're going to have to remove this pillar, as well as this pull handle. This is where you're going to need those T20s at. Let's take our flathead screwdriver, pop this cover off for the seat belt. Cover should just pry right out. Alright, so let me go get my Torx bits. So it's going to be a much larger Torx bits. I'm thinking it's not that one. And you can pick these up for AutoZone for like $10. Alright. So that is a T50 to remove the seatbelt bracket. Let's go ahead and get that off. And this isn't just specific. That's why this video is a little bit different, because I've already talked about the Ford Contour. This isn't specific to the Jeep Grand Cherokees. Pretty much this is going to be the process to any vehicle you do. The only difference is I'm showing you exactly how to do it on a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Any vehicle you come across, it's going to be remove your pillars, pull handles, seat belts if they're in the way. Sometimes the seat belts aren't in the way. Any dome lighting, sun visors, and then there's going to be certain clips periodically maybe holding it in. Being that this has a hatchback, also makes it a lot easier because it just slides out the back. Don't have a back hatch, it's going to make it a little more difficult. In our scenario, you know, we got kind of lucky with what kind of vehicle this is. Let's go ahead and get our fingers behind there again. And you shouldn't need any special tools to remove these. Oh, another one of those papers. Alright. Now, you might need a screwdriver. You might not, you might. I do. Pop this little cover off. Grab your T20 on the end of your nut driver. So once you pop that little cover off, you grab your T20, start dismantling it. If you're watching this video and you're not doing this to a Jeep, like I said, just start taking every I mean, anything that looks like it's attached to the headliner, remove it. You may remove things you didn't need to remove, but you won't know until you do it. So you're just going to repeat that process on the rear driver, front passenger, and then front driver. And then when we get to the sun visors, I'll come back and show you how to do that. So I will be showing the removal of this pillar just because it's a little different. You're going to need to get in here with a flathead screwdriver. I like my little mini flathead screwdriver for stuff like this because I won't over pry and break stuff. And pry off around these seams. It's a little difficult. Once you get it most of the way down, you should be able to just push it off, and then it comes right off. But there's no clips on this one like the other ones in the rear have. And another thing I wanted to point out, when you remove these bolts, these little pieces are going to try to slide back behind those panels. Make sure you retrieve them If you can retrieve them before you move the panel, do that. If you can't, make sure you get them, put them back on, and save them. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Oh, if I can get my knife off of here. Play music through this clip because Metallica's on and I'm not turning it off. Alright, so there's 2 Phillips head screws as well as a third one right there. There's really nothing I can do about the lighting, but the camera randomly shut off over there. So I'm going to try to get you the clip. I don't know what's up with the camera, maybe because it's cold out. So that wiring's going to drop down. So I'm having an issue with my camera shutting off, so I'll try to get to this clip quick. I'm going to take a pair of dikes. If somebody's done what they've done to mine, which is ran a zip tie through it. I'm assuming there's probably a push pin in there at some point. Let me get the other side. Just want to show you how to disconnect this wiring really quick. Ow. Alright. So once that drops down, so you're going to have multiple Phillips head screws. Assuming the camera's still going, this is going to drop down after you slide it forward, and then these harnesses are just going to disconnect. You've already dealt with a lot of these harnesses, so if you made it to this point, as long as you did everything in the same order I did. Now you're going to remove those plastic push pins. There's one there, and I don't believe any in the front. So once you remove the plastic pins I just showed you, I'll catch up with you and show you how you're going to remove the rest of it. So now we're at the point where this thing basically should just come right out of here. Yeah. And be careful not to break it. Let me show you what we're left with. So in the next video I'll be showing you how to tear this down, prep it, and then reinstalling it. Probably just fast forward through all that because you just watched me take it out. Alright, so it's the next day and I was editing the video and realized that my outro got cut because the camera shut off. So I wanted to come back out here and say thanks for viewing the video. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I hope to see you back at the next video. Thanks.